Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gary Chicken Ingram coming back to you. It's Wednesday, March the 6th, 2019. And like I said earlier this week, we're back at it where we're going to give you a chance to say what you need to say about today's topics. Today's topics, we're going to talk about, of course, this Bryce Harper contract and Manny Machado contract. We're also going to discuss a little bit on the Mets' Tebow. And of course, we're going to talk a little football, even though the Super Bowl is past. We're going to talk about this new kid on the block, Kyler Murray, that won the Heisman Trophy this year. And also, he was drafted by the Oakland A's, and he just decided he's going to play football as a quarterback. But we got a special guest on the show tonight, a caller that's called in tonight. His name is Mr. Brett Graham. Brett Graham, are you there?
Yes, sir. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Trying to get this weather out of here in lovely Atlanta, Georgia. It's been crazy here, man. How's the weather where you at?
It's minus 10 degrees up here in Michigan. Can't wait for June for the ice to melt.
I bet you can't, man. Well, I'll tell you what, when you can keep that ice, I'll take this little 30 degrees that we're crying about down here. But I'm glad you was able to join us tonight, man. So you can say what you need to say about some of these topics we're going to talk about tonight. So we're gonna jump right into it from the start. We got these huge major league free agent contract signings that have just been signed by two of the up and coming young stars for MLB of 2019. We got Mr. Bryce Harper and Mr. Manny Machado. Oh my gosh, $330 million, 13-year deal for Bryce Harper. What are your thoughts on that deal, sir?
Well, first of all, God bless his agent and God bless Bryce Harper himself. The more you can get, the better. Being an athlete, you know, your time on the field is limited, as everybody knows. So good for him. With that being said, baseball is 100 years old, and the constant thing in baseball has always been about the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at his numbers, no way is he worth $330 million.
Well, Mr. Graham, there's going to be some people out there that disagree with you. Now, I got his 2018 stats in front of me, which I'm going to read them out real quick. He ended up with a 249 batting average, 34 home runs, 100 RBI. He's been a 6-time All-Star with the Nationals. He also has an MVP that he won in 2015. He was a National League Rookie of the Year. And, you know, he got a total of 184 home runs right now. And he's only 26 years old right now. And there's a lot of people out there right now that's going to ask you why you disagree with him getting $330 million contract for 13 years. So pretty much he's probably going to end his career with the Phillies, and he decided to try with another team. You think he made the best decision by going with the Phillies, or you think he should have went with somebody else?
No, I think Philly was in his wheelhouse. They're a team with money, high dollar team, not afraid to spend money. Obviously, with the $300 million contract, and with his tweets the last couple of days, trying to lure Mike Trout over next year when his contract signs. So he's already well on the way of recruiting, so to speak. But, if you look at his numbers, other than Washington where he's played his home games, the Phillies has been his favorite ballpark to hit the long ball.
Well, you got a point there. You got a very legitimate point. And I heard you mention something about him trying to lure Mike Trout. Mike Trout still has 2 years left on his contract that he signed with the Anaheim Angels. And, for me, in my opinion, Mike Trout does it all. He's a 5'2" player, plays gold glove defense, steal bases, hits for average, hits for power. And today, you probably can ask all the other major league players that Mike Trout is probably hands down the best player in the major leagues, American League and National League put together. So
I agree 100%.
So what do you think Mike Trout is probably going to sign for then, since you think that Bryce Harper signed for so much or too much in your mind?
You got to figure he's going to ask for at least equal to what Harper got, you know, but, you know, maybe it's all about the, you know, I hate to say it, but maybe ego, you know. Maybe money isn't that important to Harper, or not Harper, but Trout. Maybe he wants to maybe just get a chance to win a World Series.
That's a great point, Brett. And you know what? Some guys do go for these big contracts for the money. Some guys go because their family want to stay in certain areas, which that's a tough situation to put a player in, because a lot of times if they have families, it's going to be a family first decision, pretty much. And, you know, I thought really Harper was going to go back and sign with the Nationals. You know, him being the face of the franchise, he came up there and they wanted to give him a $300 million 10-year contract, but obviously that extra $30 million was enough to sway him away from the Nationals, and the Phillies was able to pull the trigger. Good for that kid. Hey, like I said, he's going to have a little bit of pressure, but we're going to move on to this next player that I know you're probably going to have some interesting things to say. Mr. Manny Machado, who signed a 10-year, $300 million contract with the San Diego Padres, and last year he hit .297, had 107 RBIs and hit 37 home runs, and he also was traded over to the LA Dodgers, to where, you know, everybody was talking about the situation when he didn't hustle and things like that, and, you know, the Dodgers was on their way trying to win a World Series. So what do you think about his contract?
I think his contract was purely money driven. Obviously, with the Padres situation, they're 5, 6 years, 7 years away from actually contending for a title.
Right.
You know, maybe he's thinking, if I come here, others will follow. Who knows?
Right.
But you know, that's a tough call for a guy to choose I don't want to say losing franchise. They're a historic franchise with good players and good teams, but
right.
They have been knocking on the top. So let me ask you this: Do you think?
Let me ask you this: Do you think that that was a surprise signing to you?
Yeah, it came out of left field to me, so to speak. You know, to be honest with you, with the Yankees past, I am surprised they didn't grab one or both of these players. To be honest with you,
I hear you.
You know, it's kind of I'm obviously I'm not in the locker room. I'm just a fan. But
right.
You know, it seems to us fans that, you know, players work their whole lives to get to the major leagues.
Right.
And it seems the goal for major league players is once their contract is up, is to be good enough to play for the Yankees. Yeah. And that's the view most people have.
I hear you. I can totally understand your thoughts on that one, but you know what? To be honest, in my opinion, that was a quarterback sneak that the Padres pulled right there, because no one thought that he was going to sign with the Padres. You agree or not?
Yeah, I 100% agree. That one, I was blown away by that move. You know, I thought. Oh yeah. You know, I thought if anybody on the West Coast, it would be LA re-signing him, or, you know, Arizona ain't scared to, you know, buy a player here and there. I thought maybe they, you know, with the players they got, with them rebuilding, I thought maybe they would reach out to him. But yeah, the Padres grabbing him was a complete surprise.
Well, you know what? Hey, it's already inked on the paper and done for both players. And, you know, these two kids, they're both 26 years old. How about that? You sign a contract for 10, 13 years for $300-something million at 26 years old. Man, I tell you one thing, that'll make me come to the park really relaxed every day. But you got to look at the other side. These two kids are very competitive players, and they want to win a World Series. And, you know, everybody knew that they were going to make a lot of money in this free agent signing. They didn't think it was going to take this long, but when you get that type of money, there also comes that pressure on you to perform on an everyday level on a 162 schedule game plus the playoffs. So we're going to have to watch these two kids real close this year. They both obviously have proven that they earned those contracts since those teams signed them. And, who knows down the road. We're going to see how it is, and hopefully, they all have a good season, and it is good for baseball. So on that note, we're going to flip gears and move over to the New York Mets this year in 2019. And the big talk of the town is still Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, the former NFL quarterback that was a quarterback with the Denver Broncos. He went to University of the Florida Gators. Came out, and really, I thought Tim Tebow was going to stick in the NFL when he had that good play with the Denver Broncos. That was surprising to me, but he got out of football and decided to try his hand at baseball, which everybody knows it's a tough sport to master. What are your thoughts on Tim Tebow going into this 2019 season?
A few weeks ago, he had a soundbite that was all over Twitter and all over the news where he stated, he's just living out his dream. He don't want to have no regrets. And how can you not respect that? He's given everything he has, and he's putting his cards on the table, and
right
wherever they lay. I'm rooting for him. I think a lot of people are rooting for him.
Oh, most definitely. It's millions of people rooting for him, and a couple days ago, 2 days ago to be exact, a two-time World Series player and a home run basher, Jose Canseco, sent him a tweet. Did you hear about that?
I did not, no.
Jose Canseco, I guess Tim Tebow was struggling in spring training games, has not gotten a hit yet. And Jose Canseco, and I'm reading it directly from the internet right now, Jose Canseco sent a tweet to Tim Tebow and said, "Tim Tebow, let me help you with your swing. I just saw one of your bats. You have no rhythm right now, and you're too rotational. I will help you for free. I'm a fan of yours." What do you think about Canseco reaching out to Tim Tebow on that one?
That's great, man. Baseball, it's a small world. Everyone competes, but at the same time, everybody wants to play against the best, and they want to bring out the best in everybody, man. I think that's great, man.
And you know what? Actually, we're going to go take it back a little. When Tim Tebow first signed with the Mets, his jersey sold out in record time, really fast. So he's a seat stadium filler, especially coming up through the minor leagues. So Tim Tebow, like I said, he's working his way up. Don't get me wrong. Anybody has the opportunity to try to play this game. The one thing that I think people are probably looking at as well, too, as his age. He's 31 years old, and he hasn't gotten a shot at the major leagues, but he is moving up and improving a little bit in the minor leagues. So at 31 years of age, most guys would probably have gotten there, but you got to remember, this kid has not played baseball since high school, and this is a sport where it's repetition, and hitting, as everybody know, is the hardest thing to do in professional sports. So I'm thinking in my mind that he is going to start in Syracuse, which is their AAA affiliate this year. So this is going to be a great test for him, and I'm pretty sure they're going to sell quite a bit more tickets than they did the last year in Syracuse, because I coached in that league last year, and they didn't draw a whole lot of fans up there in Syracuse. Number one, at the beginning of the season, it's still freezing in April and probably mid-May. But like I said, this is going to be an interesting experiment, which is already in full fling. And, all you can do is wish and hope for the best for Tim Tebow. And I would say, do you think Tim Tebow would be a power hitter in the major leagues, or what do you think about that?
Power hitter, I don't think so. I see him just being a, getting on base guy type of guy. I bet he would be really great in the locker room for everybody.
Absolutely.
And, as far as baseball, you said being the hardest sport. I grew up a hockey player. I played baseball in the spring. Just as a break from hockey, to be honest with you, growing up in Michigan.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing, hitting a round ball with a round bat square is the hardest thing to do in all sports.
Absolutely. And like I said, he has to learn this on a fast curve. And like I said, hopefully he gets it done. And we're just going to wish Tebow the best of luck this year. Hopefully he can make it to the major leagues with the Mets. Moving on to our next topic, which is going to be our last segment for this evening. I know everybody's been following the NFL Combine, and the NFL Draft is going to come up soon. And this kid, Kyler Murray, is on the radar. And this kid could be the first athlete to go in the first round for the NFL and the first round of Major League Baseball. And this is a real big feat for a young kid, man. And like I said, a lot of us are critiquing his decisions. A lot of us are saying, why did he pick baseball? A lot of us saying, why did he pick football? You know what? The kid knows what he wants to do. He's already been compared to Deion Sanders, to Bo Jackson, and you probably seen some interviews that they had with those two guys. And I think Deion said he should play baseball, and I'm not sure. Remember what Bo had said, but to be even mentioned in that company, wow. What are your thoughts on this Kyler Murray kid? If you've been following him,
well, I think he's just mentioned in that company because he's accomplished in both sports. But when it comes to college football and pro football, it's night and day. And to be honest with you, I smell bust all over this kid in the NFL.
Really? Hey, I do. Hey, there's a lot of people out there right now want to reach through this phone and through this screen and wring your neck for saying something like that. But put it this way, I will compare him, and they have compared him to one guy that's been pretty successful in the NFL, which is that short quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and he's 2 inches taller, and his hands are 2 inches bigger.
Whose hands are 2 inches bigger and who's taller?
What's that?
Who's taller and whose hands are 2 inches bigger?
Russell for Seattle. He's 6 foot, right?
Oh no! They said that they were the same height. Now I'm gonna bring another name in the mix, Mr. Doug Flutie. You remember that guy?
Yeah, I remember him playing for the Canadian Football League because he was too short to play in the NFL.
Okay,
and he actually got a shot.
There you go. So he played how many years in the NFL? I think Doug Flutie got about 6 or 7, right? Maybe 10. I'm not sure. How many you think he got? Let me look him up real quick.
I'm not sure how many he's got, but I know he broke some records up there, I mean, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but you know how the NFL works, you need to be, 6'4" and 380 to play offensive line, and 6'3" and 270 play defensive line, and
you know what? You got a point there. Most quarterbacks are at least 6'2" or taller. Correct?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at Doug Flutie's years in NFL right now as we speak. He played a total of 13
years for the Bears now. Those don't count.
Oh, they don't count? Okay. Well, he played 11 years in the NFL. He played 4 years with the New England Patriots, 4 years with the San Diego Chargers, and 3 years with the Buffalo Bills. Wow. How about that? And I think he's smaller than Kyler Murray, right?
He is.
There you have it. So, you know what? We probably can go back and forth about this. And people that are going to listen to you, they probably, like I said, a lot of people are upset that this kid chose football. But you know what? As an athlete, and me being a former athlete, you're going to go with what your heart tells you to go with. You know what I'm saying? I think he signed for it was a $7 million contract or $9 million with the Oakland A's. And then he's probably, they talking now that the Arizona Cardinals might pick him in the first round. And I was looking at an article the other day, a former general manager pretty much said his combine workout was horrible. That's what was being said. But his agent came to his defense and, said that he's going to be just fine. He's going to be just fine. And you got to look at this too now. For you to win the Heisman Trophy, doesn't that tell the world that you were the best college football player that year?
Can I ask you one question about Murray?
Go ahead. Say what you need to say, sir.
If he was so great, how come he sat behind Baker Mayfield?
Hey, say that again.
If he was so great, how come he sat behind Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma?
Hey, you know what? There are a lot of backup quarterbacks that didn't get an opportunity, but when they did, they took advantage. I can name one right now who's the greatest of all time, Mr. Tom Brady. Tom Brady did back up someone before, right?
He started for 3 years at Michigan.
However, there you go. So go ahead, sir. I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
They did try to bring in Drew Henson to overtake him, but when he couldn't get the job done, they did turn to Tom Brady to finish the game. And
wow,
which he did. And I can give you an example of the bowl game they played against Alabama, and they beat them in overtime. Drew Henson started the game. We're down, I think, 14-3 at the time, and they brought in Brady in the third quarter, and we ended up winning like 21-20 in overtime.
There you go. So that should kill it all right there. And you know what? All I can say is, we wish this kid the best of luck. Obviously, his heart is in football, and I'm pretty sure in his mind, his heart, he want to try to prove everyone that he can play NFL football. And all we can do is wait and see what happens with this kid. We're going to pretty much knock it off right there until Friday, which will be our next segment on the show. Mr. Brett Graham, I'm so glad that you called in to give us your thoughts and really say what you needed to say to the world about the Bryce Harper contract, the Manny Machado contract, Tim Tebow and the Mets, and obviously the new news of Kyler Murray going into the NFL. So again, stay warm up there in Michigan. I know you probably still got those hockey sticks out, but down here we got our spring training gloves and bats and all that stuff out. But we really do appreciate you coming on the show tonight, sir. And until next time, I want you to remember that you can always say what you need to say. Thanks for coming on the show, Brett.
Hey, you're welcome. Looking forward to hearing your future broadcast.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude tonight's portion of Say What You Need to Say Sports Talk Show 2019. Great conversation with Mr. Brett Graham, a guy out of Michigan, where it's freezing up there. And I know some of you people are going to listen to this interview, and you're going to have some things to say. Hey, subscribe to the channel, Say What You Need to Say. Also, if you want to be a caller on the show, leave a email, or you can leave a contact number, and I will definitely give you a call, and we can set up some type of day where we can get you on the show so you can say what you need to say, because at some point in time in sports, people will always need to say what they need to say. So until Friday, people stay warm, be blessed, and we'll see you. Chicken is out.